Good evening and welcome back to another episode of a Whole Pack of Wolves podcast. We got the whole crew back with us again for another awesome weekly rewind, as well as we take a look back at the game against the Duke Blue Devils at home. And we're also going to be talking a little college hoops tonight, men's and women's. So both of these teams are getting ready to play. State's playing right now, and the women's team are going to be tomorrow. So looking forward to another good show and another great effort from all of our crew. Thanks all of you guys for joining. So I'm going to start with tonight. We're going to do the rewind first tonight for football. So I'm going to start with Dean. Dean, I usually typically hit you last. What were your thoughts from last week, my guy?
I listened because I was at work, but it was kind of a bit of a painful listen, and it felt like whenever the defense did something, the offense couldn't respond. Whenever the offense did something, the defense didn't respond. Special teams was going out there playing their hearts out, which has been the best unit on this team all season. But yeah, it's one of those things where I've said for a while the way you win football games is stacking up successful drives, and it's just something State wasn't able to do against Duke.
For sure. Definitely a tough and frustrating loss for sure. I think it was one of those things that people, tend to look at from a micro level, and you start forgetting about the macro level too, about some of the things that we're looking forward to goal wise the rest of the year. But yeah, definitely frustrating. So Hunter, you're next up. I'm gonna follow you in line. What were your thoughts on it? What were your initial takeaways? What were your thoughts on that one from last week?
Well, I want to start off with a nice positive move. So I had a good time going to Sammy's before the game. I actually mixed it up and didn't tailgate for very long. I was sorry, Wolfpack Nation, a little slack on that. Had my mom with me though, so we went and got some food. The weather was great. I thought the flyover was better. I know a lot of people love the old school planes. I think those are neat, but I really like the real jets. So that got me really hyped walking in on that. It was like upper 60s or 70s. So it was beautiful. Thank you for the seniors as well. Like they've put in so much work. And we'll get into more of that at the end. But I just want to thank them. It's hard to believe it's our last chance to see them in Carter Finley, last game of the season there. But, oh, boy, there's been so much being said about this game. I feel like it was just it's just a game of missed opportunities. You look at the stat line, it's crazy because you really dominated them, holding them to 31 yards rushing. We were able to get off the field. On third down, I believe they were 0 for 9 in the game, and it's like, are you losing? But going back and looking at the film, there was just so many minimal mistakes that were made on both sides of the ball. I wouldn't say it's talent as much as mental. Drop passes. I saw linemen that just, if their heads up, it really wasn't even that complicated. The blitzes they were missing. And Aiden White, I, as much as he's done for us, I just can't get over, the game he had. And I'm not trying to call him out. A big pass interference that set them up for that field goal to put them up by 10, and then he got burnt deep. I'm still not convinced he's healthy, but either way, not picking on him at all. CJ looked uncomfortable all day long. They were really looking for him. And I don't know how we do our personnel groupings and rotations when we get in the red zone. Sometimes I wonder if we ought to have our number ones in there instead of just, I know we're too deep with our receivers, maybe have our best guys in the game. But again, I don't know a lot about that all the way. I thought Sean Brown on our defense, Cooley, those guys, and Bonner, those three stood out for me that played very well. Sean Brown had 10 tackles, so he was just all over the place. But it was heartbreaking. What we have 4 field goals. We settled for 4 field goals. We missed one.
Yeah, missed one.
Missed one of them.
Missed opportunities. And to me, it's a tremendous loss because I am concerned about us going on the road to Georgia Tech, who's playing very well that just beat Miami. I'm very concerned with UNC and the way they can run the football. But the season's not over. There's still a lot to play for because I do think it's a huge, just a mental bar that you got to get to a bowl somehow. So I think you save the season there. And then I think after that, we just got to reevaluate some things, personnel on coaching staff potentially and players. But I'm not going to quit. That's not in me as a Wolfpacker. Disappointed, shocked, but it's
frustrated.
Just a crazy loss.
Yeah, tough loss. Colby, what were your thoughts on this one, looking back on it?
I'm kind of with Hunter on this one. It's kind of like it's frustrating. It's disappointing. It happens a lot, too many times to count. I don't think I'm going to be very nice. I'm going to be straight up honest here. you should not lose to Duke at home. I get it, losing to them last year at their place. Like, I get that. You're not at home. But in Carter Finley, that to me is a very concerning thing. You both lost to Duke and Wake, which Wake coming into this year had a very bad record at Carter Finley historically.
Mm-hmm.
And they still do. They still have a bad record at Carter Finley. But, like, I mean, it just – I just – losing to those two schools, they're in the same state as you. You can't lose to them, especially losing to Duke because they will let you hear it. Especially since we talk about attendance records with them and Wake, and yeah, they'll let you hear it. And I'm sorry, Carter Finley ain't looking too good either. I'm gonna call Wolfpack Nation out a little bit. I understand Dave's kind of feeling towards the fan base. You show up, you sell out, but I see a lot of empty seats. So what's going on there? I get it. I mean, the football team hasn't played very well, but what's going on there? It's not the same. This environment is not the same. And I'm just going to throw that out there. Hey, somebody wants to argue with me on that, they can my DMs are open. But it just to me it's just I could point out a lot of things that went wrong with this game. CJ had a bad game. But honestly, you could have corrected it with the first freaking play. Why is he getting sacked in the end zone? And why are we running a RPO at the, 4-yard line?
4-yard line.
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, am I supposed to go in there and play Madden or something like that? Like, it's very frustrating. Like, he's literally in the end zone, and a guy is literally about to sack him. At that point, if I'm CJ, I'm just throwing it. Like, who cares if it gets intercepted? At least it's not at the you're not in the freaking end zone. Like,
and these are young men. Coach, these are young men that read this stuff, man. Like, I hate to say it, these kids see this stuff on social media. They start questioning our coaching staff and play calling, and that's when people get disgruntled. Like, it's a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that just blew my mind when I saw that play. Like, granted, it wasn't in person. I'm sorry, like, I couldn't show up, but like. It's mind blowing to me. Why is that a play? Why is that a play on the 4-yard line where he's going to get sacked in the end zone? And I saw it coming a mile away. I could have said, sack, safety. Like, it's not that hard. So that just really frustrated me. And honestly, it really needs to be studied on how bad Aiden White's been this season. Like, I really think it needs to be studied, and like Hunter said, I think he's also hurt too. And I really hate it that this loss really like soured everybody's mood and really kind of has soured this fan base. But I really want to thank the seniors for all they've done for this program. I really hate that they are going out there on their home stretch with a loss, especially a loss to Duke. Like, it's sad, it's defeating, and to me, it's just, I don't know where you go from here, to be honest with you.
I will say that when we play at Wallace Wade, it is pretty much a glorified neutral site game. But I remember I was listening, I believe it was to state radio when this happened. Our announcers were reading one of their players' lips, and he said, it's going to be a long effing night for him talking about CJ Bailey. So that was a moment that happened when I was listening to state radio. They were reading the Duke guy's lips, and he said it's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long night for him. He literally was shell-shocked the whole night. And the coaches didn't sit down and say anything. Yeah, nobody did anything. You just allowed it. And to me, it's super annoying. It's defeating, but I'm just gonna let somebody else talk because I'm not.
I forgot to say this, but it's like we watched the film and it's 2nd and 8, and we got a running play on, and they've got 8 or 9 guys in the box. They're not even hiding it. and we don't check out of that. And I don't know how that works for us with CJ and Coach and I, but you have got to have that capability to check out of some of this stuff when you see them showing it. And stuff like that just drives you crazy. It drives the fans crazy. It's not about either.
I rip my hair out.
It doesn't seem like we're maximizing our talent is what I'm trying to say sometimes.
Yeah, Savannah, I want to get your takes on it too. I know you and I have done a lot of defending this week, so I want to go ahead and see if we can get your thoughts on this one too.
I'll say 3 things. First, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And Duke at home, an in-state rival, is a big-time game regardless of historical Duke being bad at football, what NC State being great at football. And we basically just didn't deliver. Someone has to make a play. Like, at the end of the day, someone's got to make a play, right? And, like, it doesn't matter what you coach, what you say, what you tell people to do. Like, make a play or don't. I think that the offensive line really hurt CJ's confidence at the very first play, like Colby said. And from that moment, he probably didn't have confidence in them. And, like, look, those types of things come with time and development. And I'm not saying that just happened to be a really bad version of learning that lesson. The second thing along those same lines is that CJ saw a lot of things he's never seen before. They played totally different style than most of the games that we've played, and they played differently against us than they had played the week before defensively. And so my positive takeaway is that at the very least, CJ has now seen a lot more things that he should be used to moving forward, or at least now understand where to go moving forward. And I guess to end on a positive note, because I have no choice but to do so, is that, like, at least CJ is continuing to learn every day. And I'm not blaming him for anything. Like, he's a true freshman. My guy can't really be blamed for that much. But, like, at the very least, on the positive note, is that whatever happens in this season, I hope at the very least that kid just keeps learning what he needs to learn and developing what he needs to develop, so that in 3 years, when he's still at NC State and a junior, he'll be killing it. And look, I hope he does it next year too, but it just takes time to develop those things sometimes. And yeah, it's just sucks, honestly. It's just disappointing. Yeah. So.
And Manny Diaz is one of the best in the business as a defensive coach. Yes. I mean, he's a great game plan. I think he ran some zone coverages, really came out here and threw him a curveball. And it's a learning experience for our receivers too, and how to find those holes in that as well. And sometimes stop your route, slide over, get it, sit down and that stuff. But
I can remember 2 plays just very specifically where we had inside linemen on a blitz, not even touch. Like, there wasn't a touch. There wasn't anything from a Duke blitzing linebacker or safety, not to try to be even more on top of it. But it was just frustrating for me personally to know what we did the week before in the running game and to just completely abandon that game plan for week 2. And I know Duke was sitting there stacking the box, but a loaded box is almost the easiest thing for you to be able to get a big chunk running play out of. I mean, if you block it well, you can get a big deep chunk play on that. And I really think just us being able to try to give Jordan Waters so many carries last week too is just frustrating to me to be able to see what Hollywood's been able to do and just not be able to get as many opportunities for him to get the carries and for him to get. And if you're not running the football, Hollywood's definitely showed he can be a threat in the passing game too. I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So
yeah, I mean, they load the box.
Frustration.
They load the box. The perfect play to run is you do screen. The offensive linemen get into a blocking position. You throw the ball to the running back. And you've got 7 Duke guys that are in the dust because they all said, let's blitz. And they're like, wait a minute, where's the running back? And he's like over there and they're running. And he's just wide open for a touchdown.
Well, 17 yards, man. 17 combined yards. And that isn't the formula. You're exactly right bringing that up. And nothing against Jordan, but it needs to start with Hollywood.
It needs to. And it honestly, like for me, not even that, but we had 2 straight weeks where we ran middle screen to Justin Jolie, right? Huge chunk plays out of that. Like, I didn't even see that play all game. I'm like, there's more than one way to beat a blitz. And I just think that it would have helped CJ a lot if he had gotten some help from the running game too. Like that's honestly where he was excelling in these last 2 weeks, was running RPOs off of a good running game. And that's what's frustrating to me. I know it frustrates Dave too, because he's an older school type of guy too. So just it was frustrating.
Even in Joe Lee in an off game, he still averaged 13 yards a catch and had 4 of them. And on the season, he's averaging, I think it's 16.3 a catch. I mean, we always seem to come back to him and talk about him, but it's like even when he was kind of quiet the other night, God, we still got to feed him to open up that running game.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand why he doesn't get majority of the touches, but it just some of just play calling just baffles me, and it's just it seems like it either gets worse after every loss or somehow it gets better when we win. But like it was just a frustrating game to watch, man. And you just gotta kind of have to feel for the seniors that are on this team. It's like they literally lost their last home game in Carter Finley.
Yeah.
But Savannah hit on a great point. Like it's not just CJ Bailey youth movement too now. We've got a lot of people, especially at receiver, that are still fairly young, and they are going to grow up, and they are going to build continuity. And if we can keep this group together for 2 to 3 years, there's no, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When we manifest that they all stay.
Yeah. When. Yeah. I know from talking to a lot of them, they're excited. I mean, I think the worst thing I'll say this, was people questioning whether or not the staff players or anyone on there actually cared. And I was like, number one thing you don't do is question the people that put in way more hours, way more work, 10 times the effort than we do. And they're doing it because they love their school, they love their teammates, and they're trying to put on a good show for us. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an entertainment for us, but they care. Of course they care. They wouldn't be doing it for their entire career if they didn't care.
But see, Justin, you got to remember the 19-year-old frat bro knows more than the dude who's been coaching longer than they've been alive.
That's true.
Well, they spend 5 hours a day drunk tweeting on Twitter while they're drinking 7 beers.
That's true. You got to remember that too. But yeah, definitely frustrating. I mean, I didn't want to dwell too much on it, but we got a lot of other good things going on with inside NC State athletics too. But yeah, I just wanted to let all of our crew and let everybody at Wolfpack Nation kind of get some things off their chest that we wanted to this week. So
what I will say is that our average defensive drive looked like 20 to 30 yard play given up by a certain player on our defense, and then the defense stalls them to 3 and out or only allows one more first down, and then they punt. That was the average Duke offensive drive.
Yeah.
Now, Duke's quarterback was the difference. I looked at his line. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, no picks. It was pretty quiet, but he made just enough plays to kind of sneak it by us. It was a game they snuck by us. I mean,
and
they just had to sink.
He's a freshman. He's like a true. I want to say
a redshirt freshman.
Redshirt. Like, I mean, he's also young too. Like, it's just, to me, it's like, how is he doing all that? And just baffles me.
Malik Murphy was like Justin's favorite 5'10" quarterback.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was also one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the class too. So I mean, we always have to kind of, for all you star people.
Wasn't Texas looking at him, the Longhorns, at one time or something?
Yeah, he was at Texas.
Yeah, he was at Texas. He was at Texas before Duke. Yeah,
he started a couple games for them last year when Quinn Ewers got hurt.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like they know what they're doing at quarterback, right?
That's real deal if you're going to be on that roster. So,
yeah, he's a good player. I mean, he managed the game extremely well, which, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't turn the football over, and you make plays when you need to make plays, like Savannah said. Yep. Big-time players make big-time plays. So, and I was very frustrated in that late third, fourth quarter by a ton of drops. It was like 4 in a row. It seemed like every pass CJ threw was another drop pass.
It was terrible.
It was just So frustrating.
And then the red zone trips. It's like you're in the red zone and you need to go score. And it's like I will take a field goal, at least it's points, but it's like you don't need 3 points. You need 7 points.
Yeah. In those games, you definitely want to maximize your opportunities in the red zone, no question. So, but that was the week that was. We're going to do our Georgia Tech preview coming up next week, as NC State is on a bye week this week as well. NC State will travel to Georgia Tech to take on the Yellow Jackets. Another tough place for NC State to play at as well. So it should be another tough, good matchup. But both teams, Georgia Tech coming off a huge win against Miami, so it should be another really fun excursion down to Atlanta. So I want to touch, I know it's going to be Savannah's favorite topic, but we're going to hit up just the week that was in men's and women's. The men's basketball team got a really good win against Presbyterian. Presbyterian played really well last night as well and covered their spread in their following game as well. But I thought the men played really well. Hunter, I want to start with you. Kind of just give your brief thoughts on kind of what you saw out of the men's game from last week.
We obviously are still working on our rotation. We got a lot of pieces that are not in place yet, and they changed the starting lineup too. Brandon Huntley, he started, and he did pretty well. But no, Middlebrooks had a big party, and so did Jaden Taylor. Man, I love Middlebrooks, and it's like it doesn't matter which one of those guys is in there. I mean, they're both starting the way they're going to rotate. But we got 6 guys that are scoring in double figures so far, so I love that. But I do think we'll we'll cut our rotations down some. I'm a little bit concerned with rebounding. If I had to pick on us a little bit right now, I'm a little worried about rebounding. Presbyterian was lanky though. Like, I'm being honest, like I thought they had some good looking ball players, and they just kept hanging around, and they had a couple of guards that really lit us up. But like, I'm interested to see how far they go this year down the road. I'm going to keep an eye on them.
Me too. Mincy was a bomb. That's all I'm going to say. That dude could play some ball. So, Colby, what were I know you're the basketball guru down there for you. What were your takeaways from Presbyterian?
It's the one sport that I actually played in high school. And I still try to play every once in a while. But I thought it was a game where Presbyterian came out hot. They got two. The 2 guards that scored in like 20, I think they both scored like 20 points. They were good. Like, I mean,
they were good.
I give you props. Like, they got some good players. I just felt like State was control of that game though. Like, they just there was never a moment where I felt like we're gonna lose this game. Like, no, like we controlled it. We did what we want in it, and I felt like this is something that I'm gonna say. I like that somebody hit up the rebounding. A lot of the rebounding was not the greatest, but if you look at game 1, we did out rebound USC Upstate. And Middlebrooks also had a double-double. And I'm just to me, Middlebrooks doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to get you double-digit rebounds. And so it's just, to me, it's you'll get what you get with rebounding with this team. And my big thing is the production of everyone we put on the floor is always positive. And I would say there's not a lot of negative with the production that we put on the floor. It seems like you could put any of the lineups out there that he's been throwing out there, and it seems like we get production. We get some flashy play, some 3-pointer that's in somebody's face. We get a flashy dunk, or you could get Ben Middlebrooks missing a dunk. Like that's there's that. But to me, it's like we just got a lot of production this year. Everybody can produce on this team, so it's whatever Keys decides is the rotation and it's the starting rotation, and then his bench guys he's going to play. I just feel that we can throw anybody out there that's going to produce, and it's going to be, to me, it's going to be a pretty fun year for the men's team. I'm excited. I always get excited for basketball, men's and women's, but to me, it's just like I'm excited, I'm sorry. I'm excited. It's the one sport we actually have championships in. So,
hey, look, you cannot sugarcoat how physical and how much bigger he plays than he is. As Dontrez Styles is
Yes.
he is
yes, an aggressive guard. An
He is
aggressive guard.
2 blocks. Like he is like a bigger Casey Morsell a little bit on this team. He's
Yeah.
still got
Thicker. He's thicker.
Yeah, we need his. He's going to be that guy though for us. I think that type of role.
Yeah,
Sure.
I met him in person. He is definitely a lot bigger in person. I will say that. He is gigantic. He's very muscular. And for a big guard / forward, dude's a tank.
He's good.
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
I will say this about the rebounding point. We out-rebounded USC Upstate. Start planning the parade route, but we glossing over the rebounding. You get what you get with rebounding with this team. I mean, Savannah knows this. With pass blocking, it's you get what you get with pass blocking. The quarterback may be turned into a pretzel in 1 second, has no time to get the ball out, but you get what you get.
Oh my goodness!
I love it. So, Savannah, did you get a chance to watch that one?
I was worried what Dean was going to say because I was like, wait, I don't know if I'm going to know. I watched a little bit of the girls.
Okay, good. I want your thoughts on that one.
I'm very much a go team when it comes to sports. I will ride or die for the Pack. I went to the Final Four, men's and women's last year. I was there. I will be their biggest fan. But I don't know much about it. So great job.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
go team.
Yeah.
Go team.
Go Pack.
I thought the women definitely showed up for a quarter and a half, and then things got tough. South Carolina definitely was way bigger than what I kind of expected from them. And Wes said after the game, I mean, he's been saying it for 3 weeks. His rotation on the interior is still just a work in progress. They just have not
They need to get healthy.
locked down. So
they also need to get healthy. They're very hurt on the interior, and it's showing. And so I feel like they need to get healthy. And that's my only gripe. That's the only gripe I have with the women's team. They just need to get healthy.
Yeah, they do. They played extremely hard. It was an extremely
very talented.
Yeah, they're super talented. Their guards are really, really talented. Zam is becoming one of my favorite players. She's really high energy, high level, elite level talent, but they just got to figure out who's going to get it done for them on the interior, because that's just really going to be the difference for them this year.
Is it Trigger? Is that
Trigger?
Trigger? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Man, incredible.
Massive.
That's a beast right there. And a colossal woman, I will say that. Very, very tall, 6'6". I mean, that's pretty tall for a girl. So I gotta
For
say,
a woman, that's extremely tall. The average height for a woman is 5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, 3, I think it is.
Hunter, did you get a chance to watch any of the women's game this week?
Oh, I did, and I love it. I love us getting a chance to get a look from somebody like that early in the season. For me with NC State and our ladies, Wes has done such an incredible job. I want to be top 10, and we're usually top 10 every year now. We need to be in the Elite 8 most years, almost every year, and in the Final Four. We're at that area in our program. We're a 2 or 3 seed pretty much, annually. With that being said, I really was impressed with how hard we played. I love our pieces. I do think our bigs will come along because we got physical ones. We just got, Trigger is very athletic to be 6'6". She took the ball one time from the 3-point line and made a move to the hole. And
I remember that play too, for sure.
You see the potential there. Our guards did a pretty good job, but the 2 things that stood out for me that concern me is our defense from our guards. South Carolina was so good, though. South Carolina was so good. It's like they turned on a switch and played a lot faster the second half. I don't know if Dawn Staley pushed the up tempo. It looked like it, but they just really got after us in the third quarter with tempo. And the other thing that you got to look at, Shania is not comfortable offensively right now, and it's very early. We've taken the ball out of her hands, and put it on the wing. I wonder sometimes if we ought to consider letting her run the one in some situations where we might be playing some bigger guards or some. Yeah, I think we need to consider her moving around some. But that really stood out. We got to get her going. I think it'll come. And how about, like you said, the freshman from Greenville, North Carolina? I love her. I like fire. I like athletes that play with fire, but it's not out of control. That's my type of player right there.
Yeah, she's.
I'm a big Devin fan.
Okay. All right.
I like her a lot. She's
she's
like
good
a feisty
too.
guard. I like it.
I know
Go ahead, Dean.
With Zam, she went to North Pitt, which is in the same conference as my local high school, Southwest Edgecombe, which is like 5 minutes from my house over in Pine Tops.
Yeah.
They play in this.
She's special.
Wasn't she a McDonald's All-American? She's a 5-star, isn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And no, she played at like a 2A school. So to be a McDonald's All-American at a 2A school just says how impressive she really was.
I love his young players, Coach Morris, young players. I really like the future of this team.
He is just he's super funny in the post games is what I'm going to give him credit for. He's awesome to interview. One of probably the best people you'll ever interview too, but he's very real about this team. Like he can joke, but he'll tell you what his really missing pieces are, and he really wants to nail down the interior rotation. He's going to find who's really wanting to step up into that role. So I'm excited for them. They got another game tomorrow. Kent State's coming to Raleigh. I'll be there for that one as well. So definitely tune in for the women's game as well. The men are already currently playing as well, but they are on a really good run right now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that game tonight. We can also do another rewind next week as well, but another really, really good team tonight, Coastal Carolina, that they have tonight. Coastal has won their first, or 1-1. They haven't scored more than 60 points, though, so it's going to be interesting to see when we get off tonight, what NC State's defense was able to do. So what were your thoughts? I don't know if any of y'all have seen Coastal or they played ECU last week. So
no.
I wanted to chime.
They have a difficult time scoring, I've heard. So
they do. Yeah, they've only scored 60 points in their first two games. That was their top.
And State's averaging like 89.9 per game right now. So that's a lot of points per game right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Coastal's only got one guy in double figures. That doesn't mean it'll turn out like that. It's so early in the year, Rashi Jones around 18. I'm assuming they're leaning on him pretty heavy this year.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't like Dean's face.
Yeah, Dean's face is not a good thing, but it's obviously early too. So we will definitely see how things continue to progress. But NC State's going to be a fun team to watch, I think, when all this is said and done. So it's going to be interesting. But Hunter, I'm going to let you take it away now. Let's get to our 6 games of the week this week.
Yeah, we had 6, man. I went 4-1 last week. I love lane keeping and didn't freaking take them. And Georgia was egg.
You know who did take them? Me.
Yeah.
I also took them too.
Thank you.
Well, hey, Cole, how about BYU though? How about BYU?
Savannah did predict that too many visits to the Clark County Corrections Office would catch up to Georgia.
I was like, it wasn't Florida. It has to be this one. But I am bummed. The only reason I'm bummed is because I was hoping it'd be Georgia Tech. And now I feel like Georgia wins that game because, anyways, that'll be the pick that week.
I'm bummed.
How about BYU? Barely winning at Utah. Yes, they play horribly at the U. In the West Coast, we call Utah the U. So, yeah, it was terrible. But speaking of BYU,
you just started something now, Savannah.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
But you guys, this is not related to NC State. It is my brother's first week dressing. He will be on the roster of playing this week at BYU. He is a true freshman. And so I'm so happy for him because obviously, if you don't know, he took 2 years off from working out in football and served our church. And so he didn't work out or anything. So in literally 9 months, he got home in June. I guess 5 months, he's gotten in good enough shape to be able to dress. So I'm so
proud. Awesome. Congratulations to the 2 J's. So Hunter, give us our first one this week. We're going to see if we can do a little bit better. I didn't do good at all last week.
All right, so the West Coast U, I'm just kidding, Utah is at Colorado. This is the Fox Big Noon crap. So I guess they're playing. Is Colorado? That's 3 hours behind us, right?
2
Colorado.
hours.
2
Yeah,
hours.
I was going to say, well, either way, they're playing 12 o'clock Eastern. Utah is at Colorado. Colorado is favored by 11.5. I'm kind of on the Colorado train. Utah just really played BYU well. Let's hear from Dean. What you think? Utah or Colorado?
Well, I think if you were on the internet this week, you saw a viral video of an interaction between, I believe it was Shiloh Sanders or Travis Hunter, and I believe it was Shiloh Sanders and the Texas Tech equipment manager, where he was the Texas Tech equipment manager was trying to snatch the ball away. And I think that Utah will try to snatch the win away from Colorado, but they will fail.
I like it.
All right. I definitely agree like that. Let's go to Colby next. Colby, who you got, Utah or Colorado?
So I picked Colorado to lose to Texas Tech last week, but then they lost. They beat Texas Tech. So I'm continuing my hatred towards Dion and his team. I don't like them. I think they're too cocky. I don't like cocky teams. I pretty much I like it. I like when they get humbled. That's what I like. So give me the Utes.
So if you ever see
what it is that Colby is a low key Utah fan because that's
I think
that you picked.
Give him a shirt.
If you ever see those videos of them training the monkeys to not touch the electric fence, they let them touch it and get shocked. I'm going away from that. Colby just said, "Hey, you know what? I got shocked, but let me touch the fence again."
I mean, come on. Like, wouldn't you want the cocky team to be humbled? I'm picking Utah.
All right, Justin, who you got?
Man, I'm a Buffs guy. Give me them this week. They're still in the running for the Big 12, so give me them this week.
Savannah, I had to say you last since it's Utah. Who you got?
Yeah, it's first of all, I think I went with Colorado last week also, so I think I did pick them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you did.
Okay, so it's against my religion to root for the University of Utah. So I'm rolling with Colorado 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
And I am definitely on their train right now. I got Colorado. It's going to be close though. It's going to be physical grinder.
Watch me win.
What? You said watch me nay.
Well, Colby, it'll be like that one video. What's going to happen in this game is that it'll be Utah throws a touchdown. It's now 42-14 Colorado.
Oh my God.
But it would be very chaotic for the Big 12 if Utah won because now BYU and Colorado most likely going to the Big 12 championship, and that would cause
Colorado's overrated.
Well,
it would cause some Big 12 chaos for sure.
Hey, but look, don't forget about Colorado, and this is the main reason why I really like them a lot down the stretch. They got Warren Sapp coaching their defensive line, and they have looked different.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, anyways.
Kind of helps when you get the NFL talent coaching your team, right?
Yeah, no doubt. So next up, we got number 20, Clemson is at Pitt, 12 p.m. Eastern, and Clemson is favored by 10 in that one. Let's start with Justin on this one. Who you got, Justin? Clemson or Pitt?
I gotta continue to roll. I'm taking the opposite this week. I'm going with the Panthers. Give me them for the upset this week. I gotta get something done this week.
All right. So Savannah, who do you have? Clemson or Pitt?
Pitt's coming off the loss to UVA.
Yep.
Which, speaking of UVA, shout out to all of the victims and their families and their loved ones of the players who passed away 2 years ago. They mean a lot to me personally, so I would feel horrible to not shout them out. I think about them daily. But they're coming off a loss to UVA. It's at Pitt.
Yep.
It looks better for the ACC if like Pitt wins because they only have one loss, right? And it's just to UVA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn, this is me again picking Pitt. That's pretty gross. Pitt, I'm going with Pitt too. Underdogs, they're at home. They're coming off a loss. They're playing angry.
Revenge game.
And Clemson didn't look that good this last week. They didn't look that good. So
they haven't looked good 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, let's go with Pitt.
Yeah.
Colby.
Hail Pitt.
Wow, y'all are really going to make me take Clemson because y'all are doing this. I was thinking about taking Pitt. I got to earn some points here, baby. All right, Dean, who you got?
So here's what's going to happen. Dabo Sweeney is going to go running down that hill trying to run towards the W, and he will run into a wall. But he will break through it. Give me Clemson.
Oh
He's
my
taking
God.
the Tigers. Oh, Lord.
Playing at Pitt.
Lordy.
Clemson's on the road again, back-to-back weeks. They're up there, up north. I don't know what the weather's like at Pitt. Games at 12 o'clock. A lot of factors say it's going to be a blah game. I'm gonna take Clemson because I do believe in Clemson still. I don't feel great about it, but I'm taking Clemson.
What I will say is if Clemson lose, there'll be this from Tyler from Spartanburg.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh.
Oh my God.
All right, Colby is going to be first on this one, and we're going to do number 25 Tulane at Navy, and Tulane is favored by 7. I watched Tulane play against Kansas State early in the year, so I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about this.
Give me the green wave against our troops.
All right, green wave. We got one Tulane pick. Dean, who do you have?
Tulane pick.
So when the waves will rise, but our ships will stand. Give me Navy.
Like it.
Savannah.
Yep, give me Navy. Veterans Week. My whole family's veterans from the Navy. I would never pick against the Navy. I also think that it's at Navy. It is a tough environment to play at if you've never been there. It is tough. It's cold up there right now. It is not cold in Louisiana. So I think it presents a tough environment for them. So give me Navy.
Justin.
Navy granddad, Navy uncle, Navy other uncle. Give me Navy. Got to go with them this week for the veterans. So give me the troop.
Can I change mine?
No.
Nope.
No, you're in for the win.
Colby right now, he's trying to do that scene from SpongeBob where it says, "Hello, operator, give me the Navy. You have reached the Navy's automated voice line."
Are you staying
with the wave?
Nah.
I'm riding the wave.
He's riding the wave. I'm also one of my favorite movies is you can't handle the truth. So you gotta give me the Navy this week.
Navy is having an outstanding season. I can't wait to see them play Army in that game that we'll have in December, I believe.
Awesome. Can't wait.
My offensive love is going to get me in trouble. I've seen Tulane play, and they gave Kansas State everything they wanted. It was early in the season. Yes, the weather is going to be cold, which makes me nervous, but I'm going with the green wave also. Give me Tulane.
I like it.
All right. Let's see. We got number 22 LSU at Florida, and LSU is favored by just over 4.5, I think. Let's start with Dean.
So I will make a request where we can't play the song on the air. But after the last week, they'll be playing some neck. So give me LSU.
Oh, God.
I like it.
All right, Savannah.
Yeah, I predicted that Alabama would roll LSU at home in a night game, and I was right because I knew that would happen. I think this week, though, LSU comes back from that loss and beats Florida at home. Florida's just kind of in a disastrous situation. They have, their third-string quarterback
Yep.
on from Yale. LSU's not a bad team. I think they go in there and they win it.
Justin, who are you taking?
Man, the Tigers just ruined me last week. I always had to hit up the Bayou, but I'm going to take them again. I'm going to double down this week. Give me the Tigers this week.
Colby's
going to knock it up this week.
Go Gators.
Hunter, who you got in this one?
Florida just came out and showed a vote of confidence for Billy Napier, but I can't take them with their third quarterback. If they had that young guy that was their God, what is his last name?
Lagway.
Yeah. If they had him in there, I would without a doubt be feeling good about Florida. But I'm going to take LSU.
Remember,
today,
the Gators will not stand their ground. They will get turned around.
Lagway practiced today, so I'm just saying he might play.
I do want to go to Gainesville sometime, and especially see when they do the Tom Petty song tribute thing they do.
Yeah, dude, Tom Petty is one of my favorites, all-time favorite concerts.
That's neat. So next up, we got number 23, Missouri at number 21, South Carolina. South Carolina is favored by 12. Savannah, you'll start this one. That's right.
For me, I've seen Mizzou play live. They're terrible in the trenches, or A&M's amazing, and that could be it. But I honestly have watched quite a few South Carolina games this year just because I had them for a couple upsets for other games. And I think South Carolina wins this one easy. Go Cox.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Colby, who you got?
Go Cox.
So I really want to say Mizzou because you have Coach Drink at Mizzou. One of my favorite soccer commentators, he went to Mizzou. But Mizzou's been so hit or miss this season. Give me South Carolina and play some Sandstorm.
Justin.
Man, y'all know I can't go against Drink. Come on now. I'm taking Missouri this week. Give me the Tigers.
Oh, I love that pick, but I can't do it. I'm taking South Carolina. I'm sorry, my Clemson friends that listen to this. I do not like South Carolina, but they are playing well, and I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Clemson at the end of the year. Give me South Carolina at home.
Love it.
All right, so our last one, we got number 7, Tennessee at number 12, Georgia. Justin, I'm going to put you on the spot to start it.
They might be number 12, but they got roughly like 30 some odd people up in Clark County jail. Give me the opposite this week. I took them last week. So, yeah, give me Tennessee this week.
Dean, who you got?
What's that coming down the track? What's that coming down the track? It's Rocky Top. You'll always be. Give me Tennessee.
All righty. That's a tough act to follow, Savannah. Who you got?
I don't think Georgia loses back-to-back games, and I don't think that they lose at home. So give me the Dogs.
She is taking the Clark County Convicts. I like it.
I am. Look, I would prefer Tennessee won. It looks better for us specifically, but I just don't think Georgia loses back-to-back, especially at home.
I don't sing very often, but Rocky Top, you'll always be on to me. Good old Rocky Top. Boom!
Rocky Top, Tennessee, baby.
All righty. I guess I'm up, and I'm definitely taking Georgia. They'll bounce back.
Oof.
They're at home, man. I think Tennessee's good. I'm still not obsessed with them and think they're amazing like some people do. I don't know. I like them, but I don't trust them still a little bit. I got Georgia at home.
Yep. Told y'all earlier in the year, best D-line in the country. Not going to hands down. Tennessee.
100%. I still agree with that, but I agree with Hunter too. Something about them. They're like on the brink of maybe being frauds.
Well, the thing with Tennessee is they have a true freshman quarterback.
Oh, and he's hurt. He might not be
Oh,
playing.
he's hurt? That's even worse.
Yeah, he's not playing this week, but I'm still taking him though. That D-line is gonna get the job done. I know that.
Yeah.
Georgia's quarterback play has been rough though. He has not lived up to the hype, you know.
Yeah. I
still think Kirby Smart is outstanding. If not the best, and he'll be ready.
You know,
the Tennessee offense isn't scoring points especially without Nico on Georgia's defense, especially at home.
You know,
it's also I feel like Georgia's quarterback's having a little bit of a girlfriend curse.
Okay, apparently they are a curse because I guess the other girl is a curse too. I don't know that much. I just got into the Twitter TikTok drama of it.
The Cavender twins are a curse. Let's just say that they are a curse.
In my day, we called those girls Black Widows, but maybe that's not a thing anymore.
I love that.
Because they kill their men after they got what they wanted from them, and so they make them bad at sports. I don't know. That's what we call it.
Doesn't one of those girls date the tight end for the Cowboys? And look at them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It is a curse.
It is a curse. I love it.
Hey, maybe they can reconstruct the stadium so you won't have the light blinding the wide receivers in the end zone.
He better catch the ball this week. I got CD in one of my leagues. I'm very nervous.
I do too.
Yeah. Well, no game this week for us. We are off. We're going to be doing the Georgia Tech preview on the next episode since NC State's going to be up on Thursday night. So it should be another fun, awesome, great week. Got tons of college hoops, tons of great college football, especially some really big games in the SEC. But I'm going to let our normal guy take us away. So take us away, Cole, for the show.
You know, I may be down, but I'm never out. And I'm always the number one hype man. So let's have a good bye week. Let's go basketball. We're not down. Go Pack.
Love you.